Hello there. My name is Peter McCarthy. I was born in Jamaica and I came to the United States after high school to go to college. My dream was to become a fighter pilot. Actually, an airlines pilot, then a fighter pilot. I did flight school, got my license, but I did my engineering degree, pre engineering degree at Miami Dade Community College. After college, I started working and I got opened my own business and started doing well and I forgot about completing college. Bad idea. I changed my original destiny because I was making money. But after divorce, two divorces, started over again. I went and I got my bachelor's in business and then now I am doing my master's in innovation and entrepreneurship. I look back at myself when I was a child and I remembered always making things. Always anything that was broken, I could repair it. And if I needed certain tools that I didn't have, I would make the tools. I had the equipment and the opportunity to do it. My dad used to say, if man can build it, man can fix it. So whatever it is, you can figure a way and you can do it. And I've been good at that. I've been able to use my engineering skills. It's like it's ingrown in me and figure out how to do things and do it. I can pull anything apart and put it back together and make it better than it was before. Most of the times, I can come up with different innovations to improve on whatever it is. Well, now as a child, I was allowed to fix my dad's car. I had access to it from the age of 12. We grew up on a sugar estate and we lived in one of the great houses. So all holiday I would go over to the engineering department, to the mechanics part, they call it the engineering section. And the engineer was an Englishman and he was very nice to me. He taught me how to do everything. He showed me what they were doing, how to do it, how to use the machine. So by the time I got to be 15, I was well adapted using all these big machines. I started fixing my own cars, and when I got to college to pay my school fees, I would buy cars, sorry, and repair them, buy old cars, junk cars, and repair them and sell them. Because I bought my first car was a Volkswagen 1966 Volkswagen Bug, and I got ripped off. The heads were coming loose. They tightened the heads and sold it to me. As soon as I drove off and got a few miles down the road, the heads came loose, and that was it. Well, luckily I had the skill to fix it, so I repaired it myself. And when I started my shop, I decided I wanted to be different. I didn't want to cheat people. I didn't want people to buy my car that would break down 2 3 months, or even a year later. I wanted my cars to last as long as if they purchased a new one. So the difference with me and buying a new car would be my car would last the same, but it would be less costly and affordable to especially students. So I did that and I grew. I had a reputation for having one of the best um, used car lots. Well, it wasn't a lot, it was a warehouse. And I did well. Things have changed. I made mistakes. I learned from my mistakes. And now I'm in the growing process again where I will excel, I will succeed. And I have a goal. I have a goal and a dream. It's a dream and it's my goal to help the less fortunate children in Jamaica. Those that are not as fortunate as most, I want to be able to feed them in the morning, breakfast and lunch at school for free, and also to supply school supplies to those who are able to purchase them. You know, sometimes you go to school, you want to play soccer or whatever, or you want to go into the art class, but your mom and dad can't afford to buy the materials that you need, and the school system can't afford to give it to you free. I want to be able to give them the opportunity. because with education, the country will grow. You will produce more and export more than you bring into the country because the knowledge is there, the ability to do things, to make things, to grow things. And we have the land, we have the water, and we have bauxite, we have gypsum, we have so many stuff there to make the country sufficient to export. And if we educate our young children and teach them how to use what we have on the land, the country will be much better off. And I think once you have education, you'll be better. You'll know how to vote for the prime ministers. You know which parties doing what they're supposed to do, and their country will become very, very successful. This is my goal. My goal is to teach young children, give them education. I remember going to high school. I went to one of the best high schools. But when my headmaster died, we had another headmaster. And when he left, there was a time when I wanted to do physics. And they didn't have a physics teacher at the time available that year. I bought the book and I taught myself physics. And that's what I did. When I came here, I had what we call the GCE O levels. It's the Cambridge exam in England that we had to take to pass. It's like a GED here. And I did well in that exam, and I came and I was accepted to college here. Now, it's never too young to learn. I learned a lot of stuff from my kids. I remember when my little boy was 4 or 5 years old, he was so adapted using the computer that he taught me things that I didn't even know. And now, all the young kids, they know so much about the iPod, the Apple iPhone. We never grew up with a phone. We never even had a calculator. Luckily, my first term in college, we had a class that taught us how to use the Texas Instrument. I knew how to use a logbook and the slide rule. That was my calculator, which was good. And don't ask me anything about it. I don't remember anymore. It's been so long, 40 odd years I have since I've used a slide rule. But I guess if I start using one, I'll figure it out. Well, I'm going to Full Sail University to obtain my master's in innovation and entrepreneurship. With the knowledge I will gain from this school, and it's a really nice school. My daughter told me about it. That's how I came here. I will be able to proceed towards my goal and become successful. I have learned by reading this first lesson, the first week. I have learned so many mistakes I made in the past that I never knew until reading the books. I seen what I did wrong, and I'm already learning how to. Like the Chinese say, my uncle is Chinese. He said to me, "A failure is not a failure if you learn from it, only if you don't learn from it." So now I'm learning about my failures, and I intend to succeed. I have that drive, that grit to move forward and to do something. For me, I want to be financially stable and financially free. And to do that, you have to have your own business and you have to make the money work for you. Making the money is one, keeping the money is more important. That's what I have to do. So never give up. It's never too old to learn. Kentucky became a millionaire. The old for Kentucky Fried Chicken at the age of 65. So it's never too late.